air travel pretty fucked up right now.
So if you're going
there's a segue.
going to be flying home this weekend for 4th of July, going out, you better hope your flight doesn't get canceled, because the other day about 50...
Was it 10% or 15% of flights got canceled?
I think it was 10%, but 30% had pretty serious delays.
Yeah.
And this is during a time when I think we're having record leisure travel. The TSA is counting record numbers of people they are screening.
Wow.
They, after a couple of years of not traveling so much, everyone is trying to get back out there. And this isn't like, this is regular people, domestic leisure travel.
Yeah.
Going to see your family, going to take the kids to Disneyland.
I love domestic leisure travel.
Do you?
Dude, it's the best kind of travel.
Okay. And so the problem is...
They're overbooking. These airlines.
These airlines
fucking airlines
are overbooked. And this story it's very in line with all these things we've been talking about. The stuff we were talking about with David Day and with the Ford Pintoization of America.
Mm-hmm.
These airlines don't have the capacity to run all these flights. They're trying to do it, but they're planning out these flights that, like, okay, if everything literally goes perfect, we can maybe do all these flights. But they know they can't. They used to have reserves. They used to have flights that could take over when people got sick, or all these things, right?
Reserves, you mean like reserve crews?
Yeah.
Okay.
But during the pandemic, they received a huge bailout. I think it was close to $60 billion. And there was a catch. The government said, you can't lay off your workers. And they were like, yeah, we won't.
Yeah.
We won't lay anyone off. But what they did was they did furloughs, they offered buyouts, and they did early retirements. And I think it amounted to about, for most airlines, it was like 30% of their workforce.
What do you mean buyouts?
They would offer people buyouts to stop working, to stop being an employee.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So they weren't like layoffs, right?
They were...
Right. Furloughs, layoffs, early retirements. A lot of pilots did early retirements.
Mm-hmm. And prior to that, leading up to the pandemic, I'm pretty sure a lot of them were flush with cash. And they were choosing to deploy their cash in the form of stock buybacks to help juice stock returns that in turn, hey, guess what? If you're an executive or the CEO and part of your compensation is commensurate on the performance of the stock, hey, you just won because the stock's up exactly where it needs to be, and so you get your $20 million bonus because the stock's up.
You got to get those bonuses.
And the only way you did it is by deploying that cash to buy back the stock. Get the fuck out of here. Get me the CEO of American Airlines. You guys banned me from your Advantage program.
Well, it also is you also have, it's a monopoly story too, right? All of these like regional airlines, there used to be all these different airlines, and now they've all been bought out and consolidated, and now there's like 5 airlines. What do we got? We got United, American, Delta, Southwest.
Well, those aren't regional. Regional would be
no. I know.
Oh.
There's now 5 companies because they all bought up and merged and
right. We got Alaska, JetBlue, Frontier, Spirit, American, Delta, United.
Isn't Frontier and Spirit, aren't they going to merge?
So yeah, that's actually a thing that's going on right now. JetBlue and Frontier are competing for Spirit.
Oh, great.
Yeah, but Spirit rejected JetBlue and asked their shareholders to vote for the merger with Frontier because apparently there's antitrust concerns if they were to get bought up by JetBlue.
God, those are 2 titans of just like shitty air travel.
Who? Spirit and Frontier?
Yeah.
I've never flown either of them.
I've flown both of them.
Yeah.
Frontier's, it's routinely very cheap, and you're like, holy shit, I can fly for $200, and then it's like, but there's a stop for 17 hours, and you're like, why are you even offering this? Why are you showing me this fucking flight? It's every time.
Yeah. Or it's like you got to pay to check. You got to pay to have a carry-on. You got to pay to select your seat.
But that has made its way to all of these major carriers now, which sucks.
Nickel and diming.
With these mergers, you're seeing more expensive flights for shittier services.
Yeah.
And and now when you look for a flight, you always get a price, and you're like, oh, that doesn't seem like a bad price. And then they're like,
it's not.
But that's if you want to not bring a bag and not be able to use the bathroom.
Yeah, that's if you just want to sit on the airplane.
Right. If you want to be able to get up during your flight, you're going to have to pay another $120. And you're like, this is fucking crazy.
I would not be surprised. You know, everybody's losing their minds about that like double-decker set up that it's a, what do they call that? Not a mock-up, but what is it called when you propose something that's like a
proposal?
No, but like
a demo?
What?
A demo?
A demo, yeah. It's like it's close to a demo. It's like in architecture when they
blueprint.
No.
Okay.
A blueprint is when it's finalized.
Okay, yeah, everyone knows what you're talking.
When you're still in the pitching phase.
Sure. Just say it. Just
anyway, that's what I mean. But there was one a couple years ago that was like a standing, that one, this one of the. I wish the audio.
Oh yeah, they want
it
to be like a subway.
Yeah, and that actually doesn't see. Everybody was shitting on this. It doesn't look bad. Look how much leg room you've got if you're on the lower level. You can fully recline like your legs. That's huge. And everybody's like, "Oh, you're gonna get farts directly to the face." No, you're not, because look at the plastic right in front.
Wait, I don't really understand it. So up top, you have to stand.
No, up top you're sitting.
Oh, dude, I don't know. This is very claustrophobic for me.
But it's just as close. Look.
Oh, I mean, air travel has gotten very claustrophobic.
Yeah.
The seats are so close to you now.
Yeah.
When someone leans them back, it was always kind of brutal, but now it's like, whoa, you're like my.
So then you lean back too. Everybody leans back.
I guess.
That's the only way it works, baby. Or you do like I do, collect those miles, suffer for miles. But so this one was like a standing seat. It was basically.
It was like a subway.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah, I saw that.
But it's like a little saddle that you sit in. It's just like a little dipshit. Like they're just these fucking airlines, man.
Okay, so airline travel is getting absolutely fucked up. I was supposed to fly back east this weekend, but I'm very glad I'm not, because I think it's going to be an absolute mess this weekend. But
it's going to be fireworks going off. The pilot's going to be having to dodge. Whoa!
Right. So I mean, this all amounts to fraud, basically, because the airlines know they can't possibly keep up with all these flights that they're scheduling. They don't have, and people are getting their flights canceled at the last second. People are finding out in their taxi rides to the airport or their subway rides, whatever, that their flight has been canceled.
Right.
And they know they can't possibly do it all. And so Pete Buttigieg, our transportation secretary, called an emergency meeting with the
airline CEO.
With the airline CEOs, basically to beg them to do the right thing. It was quite funny. And it basically amounted to, he just said, these airlines have gotten a lot of public support to try to keep the system resilient. And now we're looking to them to make sure that their operations are reliable. And importantly, that when there's a disruption or delay, they get somebody on the phone and get the customer service to help work through it. That's basically about all he could do. And the best thing is, so he went to this meeting. They all basically told him to fuck off. We're not going to do anything. And then to try to get home, his flight was canceled. And he had to drive back.
No fucking way.
Yeah.
That's funny. So these airlines are doing it to what? Juice numbers because it helps their revenues?
Well, I think the hope is that they can do all of it, right? It's like when it's like when you try to plan anything, right? You're like, well, if everything goes right, we can do all these things. But it never does, right? There's weather, there's the and then you have all these cascading effects where the one thing affects the next because your crew for that one is late, and then everything just snowballs into this cancellation hell where you're missing 10% of your flights.
Yeah.
I forget what his name was, but I think it was the transportation secretary under Obama. He actually, it was in 2010, there was these horrible tarmac delays. I think one of the longest ones was 12 hours. People were stuck on tarmac.
Damn.
And they were like, this is fucking unacceptable. Because they don't have a lot of power. I think it was under Carter, they deregulated a lot of the airline industry. Mm-hmm. But they were like, well, we can start fining them. So I think it was like $100,000 for every passenger left on the tarmac over 3 hours. And some of these companies were paying like millions of dollars over a weekend for stranding, and then they just fucking stopped. Now I think they have a rule when after 3 hours they just you go back into the terminal.
Damn. Well,
so it'd be great if Pete could fucking do.
He's not going to do anything. He's not going to do anything. He's too busy riding a bike, wearing his helmet. He's too busy telling people to get an electric car or whatever. There's nothing. This is just. Corporations have too much power in the United States.
The FAA is especially bad. They are pretty. They have a really high level of corporate capture. So,
well,
good luck out there, folks. I'm flying. I'm going to see my dad in July, and I'm going to see some friends in August. And I'm just like, it's gonna be hell.
If you're on that flight with Emil, take pictures of him and then DM them to him.
No, please don't. That would
do that. Don't say hi. Just take pictures of him.
That would actually really scare me. Please don't.
And then try to airdrop them to him.